This is the Louie T Network.
Louie T Live. Who else could it be but me, your me, Louie T? Welcome to a show that I like to call Winners and Losers. My Pick'em Weekly show that will be on display all season long in 2017, looking at the National Football League regular season schedule on a weekly basis and making picks and predictions for each and every single contest. Of course, I'm your set man, Louie T. Thank you for joining me on this program. Now, this show will look a lot different come next week. I'll be more prepared. I'll do this on a pre-recorded show and upload it. It won't be live necessarily. I might change my mind depending on the kind of feedback that I get. I may make it a live show. I may not. We'll see. But in any event, I need to get on the board. Okay, we've got a game tonight to kick off the 2017 NFL regular season schedule. Patriots at home defending the crown as they get set to try to defend their Super Bowl championship, starting out the season at home versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Should be a good ball game. We fully expect the Patriots to take care of business. We'll get to that in a second. But first, if you haven't already done so, what are you waiting on? Subscribe to the Louie T Network for more great content in 2017 and beyond. Look, we changing the game here on the Louie T Network. Want you to be a part of that. And the way to do that, hit the subscribe button if you haven't already done so. Also, follow me on Twitter. @InTheLabRoom is the Twitter handle. Go ahead, give me a follow there. I'm also on Instagram. It's me, Louie T, on Instagram. Find me, follow me there as well. And of course, Facebook page. In the Lab Room is the Facebook page. So go ahead, give your man a like there as well. So I'm going to take a look at the schedule. If you want your schedule, look, this is the thing that you got to know about me. All right. There are no free passes when it comes to picking games. All right. I'm a very competitive guy. Bottom line, I hate losing. Okay. That's the first thing. If you don't know anything else about me, is that I'm very competitive and I hate to lose. All right. There needs to be some type of competitive element to what we're doing here, because I'm going to let you know I'm a little ornery right now because the football pool that I play in every year, I'm not in it this year right now because the lady that handled all of the money and got all of the picks from everybody, she's not doing it. And I'm going to let you know, I'm really upset because now watching the game, there's not enough on the line for me anymore, okay? That's going to change next year, okay? But in the meantime, there's nothing on the line for me right now. I need that competitive spirit. I need those competitive juices to get flowing. And so this is a little bit of an outlet for me because I want to be better than everybody else. And last year, I'm going to tell you, there was some weeks where it was pretty tough for your man, Louie T. But I'm here to tell you, your man is back like cooked crack. And all I do is win, no matter what. That's all I do. And I let the losers worry about losing. And that's why this is winners and losers. Because I don't know what it is like to lose. I just win. And so I'm going to start off doing what I do best, win. And so I'm about to pick a bunch of winners. And just to give you a little bit of insight, no one is off the hook if you send me your picks. And I've put the link in the description box for those of you who are brave enough, who have big enough stones, who have balls the size of grapefruits, who are not afraid to put your picks on the line, okay? Because if your picks are garbage, you're going to hear about it, okay? I'm going to let you know. You don't get to just throw. See, this is the thing I love. When us as vid makers give you picks and selections and we prognosticate and we give you predictions for the season, you always can come back and throw it in our face. Oh, you were wrong about my Falcons. You said we were going to be 6-10 and we went to the Super Bowl and we were 11-5. Yeah, I was wrong. I don't have a problem saying I'm wrong, okay? But when I'm right, your ass is going to know I'm right. And so you're not going to get to just point the finger. If you send me your picks and you go 5-10 this week, I'm in your asshole, okay? I'm digging all up in your asshole, tearing you a new asshole, and we all going to let you know how garbage you were at making picks the week prior. So look, I'm just letting you know, just a little bit of a warning. If you're going to send me your picks, you must know that there are repercussions for bad selections. That's all I can basically say. Beware. If you're going to send me your picks, viewer discretion is advised. If you're going to send me your picks, viewer discretion is advised. You've been warned. That being said, I haven't even taken a look at week one's picks yet. The games, none of that. All right. I am in the dark here, so I'm going to make these picks basically looking at them in front of you. This is my first time looking at the week one slate because I've been busy. Let's face it, there's a lot going on trying to prepare for the upcoming season of the Louie T Network. And so haven't really had a chance. And again, because I'm not in that football pool, which if I were in that pool, I would have had to turn my picks in already. I would have had to have sat down, analyzed the picks, and looked at it. If I were doing a survivor pool, I would have had to look at all the picks and made a selection. I'm not doing any of that this year. And so because of that, I haven't seen the week one selections yet. So shall we? I think we shall. So let's do that. Let's take a look at this schedule, man. And we're going to make these picks live and see if we can. And look, so the bar is going to be set for this week. There's 15 games. Normally in week one, there's 16 contests. Normally in week two, there's 16 contests. Normally in week three, there are 16 contests. The buys don't get started till week 4. Or is it week 5? I think buys don't get started till week 4. I think it is week 4. But nonetheless, okay, of course, because of the situation in Florida with Irma, these damn hurricanes, Harvey hit hard. Now Irma wants to come in and be an irritant. You like how I did that? They canceled the Buccaneers and the Dolphins game. And now those boys, I feel bad for both of those teams. They got to play the entire season. They're getting a week 1 bye, essentially. Their week 11 buys, both of them have been wiped, and that game will be played in week 11. They don't get a bye week the rest of the season. Good luck to those teams. You're going to need it. So in any event, not 16, 15 games on the slate. I don't give a damn, okay? I'm setting the bar this week at 11-4. Catch up if you can, all right? So let's start with the first game on the docket. Patriots at home taking on the City Chiefs. You know what this is. You knew what this was when you saw the schedule come out, man. It's the Patriots at home getting their rings. Look, that Chiefs team, that's a good football team. They're not going into Foxborough and winning. No way, no hell, now how. Patriots take that one for my first win of the week. Then you get to the Sunday games. Jets and the Bills, family business. You know how that goes. That's some funky family business if I've ever seen it. Is Tyrod Taylor playing? I don't know. Nathan Peterman might start that game. Look, that scares me. I love Nathan Peterman, but do I love him? Week 1, rookie starter against the Jets. Look, the Jets may stink, but they do play defense, right? Right? So they're at home. I expect the Bills to find a way to win, whether it's Tyrod Taylor or Nathan Peterman. But that's family business, boy. That can get you into some trouble. I'll take the Bills, though, at the crib to hold it down. Falcons at the Bears. You expect the Atlanta Falcons to get off to a nice start, but I'm telling you, watch out for John Fox and his crew down in Chicago, man. John Fox, they're building some things down there. I think that those guys have a legitimate shot in week 1, but I'm not doing that. The Falcons are the better team. They're supposed to win that game, and until they show me otherwise, going with the Falcons to take care of business on the road in week 1. Ravens at Bengals. This should be fun, okay? Welcome to the jungle. We got fun and games. The Bengals got a lot of fun and games for the Ravens in the jungle. This is going to be an interesting matchup because the Ravens have been extremely banged up. We don't even know what Joe Flacco looks like. Joe Flacco. We don't even know what my man Joe Cool looks like this year. He's been banged up. And so you're expecting me to pick the Ravens on the road in the jungle with a quarterback that I haven't seen. And even though he's a veteran, knows the offense should be fine, you're asking me to go blindly with the Ravens. I can't do that. I'm sorry, I can't. I'll take the Cincinnati Bengals at the crib to get it done versus the Baltimore Ravens in a little bit of AFC North family business. Pittsburgh Steelers at the Browns. So everybody in that division is getting some little family business situations attended to, as the whole AFC North is pitted against one another. So we have another AFC North family business matchup here. Steelers at the Browns. Browns are going to be a much improved team, I think, especially on the defensive side of the football. If I'm not mistaken, they haven't given up a touchdown either all preseason or in the last 2 or 3 preseason games. Either way, Myles Garrett is injured, and not like that was going to be the end-all, be-all. Oh, no, Myles Garrett, they're not going to win the game now. They weren't going to win the game anyway. But that does make it a lot tougher on them. He's a guy that can get to the quarterback. In any event, the Pittsburgh Steelers, to me, are the cream of the crop of that division, and they're going to prove it by getting it done. It doesn't have to be pretty, and sometimes the Browns will lull you to sleep and make it an ugly game, and you wake up sometime in the fourth, and it's 19-13, and you're like, why the hell am I in a 6-point game with the Cleveland Browns? That can happen, but at the end of the day, Steelers are going to look up. They're going to have more points than the Browns on the scoreboard. They're going to get the win. So I'm taking another road team, my second. You know I don't like a bunch of roadies. That gets you in trouble normally, but I feel confident about the two that I've picked thus far, as I expect the Steelers to get it done versus the Cleveland Browns. Arizona Cardinals at the Detroit Lions. Look, I'm not sold on the Arizona Cardinals. I got to see this team. And for me to believe, I think this is going to be a down year for the Cardinals. I think this is the beginning of the end for the Cardinals in terms of them being a very, very competitive team that we look at as a potential team that can make the postseason. Would not shock me in the least if this team regressed from last year, and they weren't that good last season other than David Johnson. The quarterback position, of course, scares us with that team. David Johnson is a beast. What are they defensively? We're going to find out a lot of things about the Cardinals on the road against a Detroit Lions team that can score the football. I expect the Lions to be a little bit better. And this was a team, if you remember last year, that made the postseason, should have won the NFC North Division, but pissed it away late in the season with some costly losses. Bottom line is, the Lions are at home. I think they're good enough. Doggone it. People like the Lions. So do I in this game. Give me the Lions at home to take care of the Arizona Cardinals. Jacksonville Jaguars at the Houston Texans. This is a no-brainer, a little bit of AFC South family business. Look, if these two teams say they ain't did it, then they ain't did it. But if they did, well, that's family business. And I expect the Texans to take care of family business the only way they know how, by playing elite defense and begging and pleading their quarterback not to screw it up. We'll see. Maybe the macho man, Tom Savage, ooh yeah, can get it done at the quarterback position and put all of that quarterback nonsense to rest for this Texans football team. Look, they don't need much out of the quarterback. The run game, D-Hop, Nuke, all of those guys, all of that stuff, the defense, it's legit. They should be able to get it done at home, nonetheless, versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. Give me the Texans in that game. Of course, Tampa and Miami not going down this week due to Hurricane Irma. So that game is no longer on the docket. Raiders, the Oakland Raiders, taking on the Tennessee Titans. Maybe my favorite game of the weekend, besides, of course, the game after that on the sheet that you're looking at in front of you. This is going to be compelling football because both of these teams, a lot of people think, are going to be really good this season. The Raiders proved that they have what it takes to be good last year. Can they follow up after a successful season with more success? I'm always anxious to see how teams who haven't had a lot of success in their past, how they handle success. Now everyone's not telling you you're the sleeper team and you're the trendy pick. All right, now everyone's telling you you're supposed to win. You're supposed to be good. You're supposed to win 10 games and challenge the Chiefs for the division. You're supposed to be one of the better teams in the AFC. How do the Raiders handle that? They're going up against a team that really they're staring in the mirror of the team that they were a season ago. This Titans team, everyone's telling the Titans the same thing everyone was telling the Raiders last year. You're a good football team. Time for you to take that quantum leap. Everyone looked at Derek Carr and said, hey, time for you to take that leap. And what did Derek Carr do? For about 3/4 of the season, he was in the MVP run, okay? Everyone's looking at Marcus Mariota. Time for you to take that leap. Defense, time for you to step up. Run game, continue to pound teams. Time for you guys to win double-digit games and win that division or make the postseason. This is going to be an intriguing game. I love the Titans at home in this spot because of the fact that they can play defense and, more importantly, run the football, and control the clock. We know the Raiders last year weren't great on defense, and they could be run on. This is a different Raiders defense, but I think they're going to have some of the same issues. Their linebacker situation is sketchy at best. The defensive line, a lot of changes there. I think this is a team that can be run on, and if the Titans can control the pace of the game, control time of possession, and keep that high-powered, high-octane Oakland Raiders offense off the field, they got a shot at winning that game, and I believe they can do all of those things and more. I'll take the Tennessee Titans at the crib to get it done and make a statement in week 1. The Philadelphia Eagles at the Washington Redskins. Of course, those are my boys there, the Washington Redskins, and I fully expect the Redskins to win that football game. It's not going to be easy. It would not shock me in the least if the Eagles came into the house, smacked us around, and left with a W. You know, this is that good old-fashioned NFC East family business. Nothing like the family getting together on a Sunday afternoon, 1 o'clock at FedEx, and just talking about old times. You remember that time Kirk Cousins took the team down the field on a 90-yard drive and ripped your heart out of your chest and beat you at FedEx Field 2 years ago? Remember that? Remember the time Kirk Cousins went up to Philadelphia, threw for damn near 400 yards, about 3 or 4 touchdown passes in a game we had to have to clinch the NFC East? Remember that? Those were good times, man. Let's let the good times roll. Redskins, at the crib, get it done. Kirk Cousins, I can tell you this. I can't tell you much, but I can tell you this. The one team Kirk Cousins loves to light up is the Philadelphia Eagles. He wouldn't have it any other way. If you asked him, what one team do you want to play against? He's taking the Philadelphia Eagles. He's ripped those guys to shreds throughout his career. I expect him to continue his hot football against that team. Indianapolis Colts at the Los Angeles Rams. This is an intriguing game. One that had Andrew Luck been healthy, I would be taking the Indianapolis Colts. But when you're telling me that you're starting Scott Tolzien, Mean Green Tolzien, that's a problem. That's a big problem. Now, no Aaron Donald. Never, ever trust a man with 2 first names. I told you. Never trust a man with 2 first names. He's holding out. I don't blame him. Man's outperformed his contract by light years. Bottom line is, they're good enough at the crib with Sean McVay against a revamped, new-look Indianapolis Colts team, defensively especially. We're going to see some things. I'm anxious to see if that defense can give that offense that's going to sputter with Scott Tolzien at quarterback a shot to win that game. But I'm taking the Rams in a game that they have no business winning. But because there's no Andrew Luck, they got a shot, and I'm taking them at the crib to hold it down and get their first win for head coach Sean McVay in his career head coaching debut. Seattle Seahawks at the Green Bay Packers, a game that a lot of people think is a precursor to what is going to be the NFC Championship game come January. I don't know if I can disagree with that. You know how I feel about the Packers. I'm guilty as charged, okay? You know how I feel about Aaron Rodgers. Aaron, that's my dog. So I can't disagree with that. I think Seattle's got a legitimate shot, if they can stay healthy, of being one of the most dangerous teams in the NFC. Same way I feel about the Green Bay Packers. So this is going to be a very fascinating football game. But at the end of the day, I don't see Seattle going into Lambeau. They've struggled in Lambeau. All right. Even when they were one of the best in the NFC, the one team that they always have struggled with is the Green Bay Packers. Home, away, it hasn't mattered. They've struggled with the Packers. Now, they may come out with wins sometimes at home, but they've struggled with Green Bay in Lambeau. I expect that to continue. Expect the Packers to find a way to get it done week 1 versus the Seattle Seahawks. Carolina Panthers at the San Francisco 49ers. Remember when this used to be a showdown? Circa 2009. Remember that? 2010, 2011. Dare I say 2012? Remember when this game in 2012? Man, this was a circle that on the calendar type of game. 13-10. Heads was going to roll. Nose was going to be bleeding. Guys were going to get hit. It's going to be physical. Let's get physical. physical. Boy, I miss those days. I bet the 49ers fans miss those days. These are not those days. Those days are long gone. As a matter of fact, those days packed up and went to Michigan, to Ann Arbor. Those days are gone. Colin Kaepernick's on the street, or not in the NFL, however that works. Jim Harbaugh's gone. Frank Gore's gone. Michael Crabtree's gone. You get the picture, man. I don't need to reminisce. Bottom line is the Panthers are back. They're out for blood. Cam Newton, I don't know if he's fully healthy yet. Doesn't really matter. They should be able to do enough offensively. More importantly, defensively, they should be good enough to stop Billy Ho and that traveling show out there in San Francisco. Now, I will say this. I will warn you, Kyle Shanahan is very, very tricky. He's a hell of an offensive coordinator. And if the Panthers don't come to play, they can get caught with their pants down in week 1 against these 49ers. However, I don't see that being the case. I like the Panthers in this game. Again, you know I don't like a ton of roadies. This will be my third road team this week. I'm comfortable with all three of them. Give me the Panthers on the road to go take care of business out in the Bay Area versus the San Francisco 49ers. Sunday night football. Sunday. Boy, NFC East family business. It doesn't get much better than this. I'm biased, yeah. I admit I'm very biased. It doesn't seem like the NFL does this just about every year? At some point, you must know you're going to get a Dallas Cowboys New York Football Giants Sunday night game. It doesn't matter. Week 1, Week 7, Week 11, last game of the season, you're going to get Cowboys Giants on Sunday night. This year just happens to be Week 1. The second time in 3 years that this game is your Week 1 Sunday night football contest. And it's one that does very well in the ratings every year. And it's going to do a huge, massive number this year. And the Cowboys have some good news. Zeke Elliott is going to play in this game. How convenient. How convenient that the NFL arbitrator says, you know what? I'm going to wait to decide to the last minute in the week. And I'm pretty sure Raj got in his ear and said, hey, how about you stretch this thing out so that he can play in week 1 on primetime television, and then we'll suspend him for 6 games. Do that for me, Mr. Henderson. He said, hey, Raj, slip me a couple of them Benjis under the door, and I got you, bruh. I got you. Raj tried to play broke. He's like, man, you know I ain't got. If I had it, I'd give it to you. He said, look, man, don't play with me, boy. I will make this man play every single game this year. Try me if you want to. He said, all right, man, you know I'm playing. I'm going to slide you a couple bucks. Voila. They don't make the decision until Tuesday, and now Ezekiel Elliott is playing on Sunday. Don't you just love how that works? Bottom line is, they need him in order to beat the Giants. Without him, they probably lose this game. With him, I see them finding a way to get it done versus vaunted Giants defense. It's going to be a great game. And I think these are probably the 2 best teams in the NFC East. And these games matter. When you're playing teams in the division that you need to find a way to beat head-to-head because those tiebreakers are going to come back and really ultimately decide the division, these are huge games. And if the Cowboys want to repeat as NFC East champs, not going to have Zeke for the next 6 weeks, most likely. Probably in your best interest to find a way to win this one. Remember, the Giants swept you last year. So if there's one team in the division that you don't really want any part of, it's this here New York Giants football team. You better find a way to win them this one at the crib with Zeke. I'm taking the Cowboys to find a way to get it done. Doesn't have to be pretty, just needs to be gritty, and most importantly, a Dubsky. You go to the Monday night contest, 2 of them, you know how they like to do us week 1, 2 Monday night games. And so the first of which, it's a juicy one, Saints at the Vikings. Juicy because Adrian Peterson going back to his old stomping grounds, place where he spent the first 10 years of his career, Hall of Fame career, that is. Now he's going back as a New Orleans Saint. That should be fascinating. Anxious to see how the crowd receives him. They better give this man a standing ovie. I better not hear one boo in the crowd, as this man has poured his heart and soul out for this team over the last decade. He's been extraordinary for them, and I'm anxious to see how the Saints utilize him and how this offense really looks with Adrian Peterson. Conversely, I'm anxious to see how the Vikings look. I was not impressed with them in the preseason. It's the preseason. I get it. I understand. But there are some doubts as to how good this team in Minnesota is going to be. I think they're going to be just fine with Mike Zimmer. Zimmer! Who's got the keys to your Beamer? Well, we know that's Sam Bradford who's driving right now, but for how long? Can he stay upright? That offensive line still looks mighty funky, if you ask me. We're going to find out. That's going to be a really interesting game. The Saints can go on the road and win that game. I can't pick them, though. It seems like Drew Brees struggles with teams that defensively can get after him, force him into a mistake or two. And that's what I see the Saints doing. And that's what I see the Vikings defensively, more importantly, doing to Drew Brees. I think the Saints can win this game, but I'm not confident enough to make that pick on the road. Nonetheless, give me the Minnesota Vikings at the crib to get it done in week 1. And finally, to round out my picks, Los Angeles Chargers, Denver Broncos, Monday Night Football doubleheader. Most of you will not make it to the end of this game, and I don't blame you. At least it's not Rams 49ers like it was last year, right? Right? Bottom line is, if this game were in L.A., I think the Chargers will have a legitimate shot. And I will tell you this, Phillip Rivers is not afraid of the Denver Broncos. He's beaten them in Denver. He's beaten them at home. And it doesn't really matter how good the Broncos are. Phillip Rivers knows how to beat them because they're a family member. AFC West family business. That being said, Trevor Siemian is a guy that I think is good enough to be a starter in this league on a consistent basis. I think that Denver Broncos defense has an axe to grind. They know that they have to be at their best for this team to stand a chance. I'm anxious to see what Denver does from an offensive standpoint. What's the philosophy? Are you going to run it? Are you looking to throw it more? I want to see what they do. But defensively, I know what this team is about, and I expect them to find a way to get it done at the crib versus the Los Angeles Chargers. That's going to be a really fun game. That's not one you want to go to sleep on, okay? I know the second game of these doubleheaders has been lackluster for the most part since ESPN started doing this. But I'm telling you, that's going to be a good football game to wrap up week number 1. I'm going with the Denver Broncos at the crib. I feel good about all of my picks. 3 road teams, that's right around where I like to be, 3 or 4, especially in a week where there's 16 games, or at least supposed to be. It's 15 this week because of Irma. 3's right around where I need to be. And so I feel confident with these picks. Quickly, let's recap. Patriots, Bills, Falcons, Bengals, Steelers, Lions, Texans, Titans, Redskins, Rams, Packers, Panthers, Cowboys, Vikings, Broncos. So those are my picks for week 1. Go ahead and lock them up. Lock them up. Lock it up. All right? And so if you want to send me your picks, you know what you have to do. If you don't, simply go to my YouTube channel, Louie T Network. Go to the discussion tab and leave your picks in the comment section there. The link is in the discussion box of this video below. Go ahead, copy and paste. It'll take you straight to where you need to go. Leave your picks there, and we'll discuss all of those picks and more next week on winners and losers. Look, all I do is win. I let the losers worry about losing. Of course, I'm your man, Louie T, signing off. If it happens in the National Football League, whether big or small, we cover it all here in the lab room on the Louie T Network. I'll see you guys later. All right? We got football tonight. So you know your man Louie T is putting in work overtime on the channel. I'll see you for Thursday Night Football overtime, immediately after the conclusion of Pats and Chiefs. I'll see you then. Send me them damn picks ASAP.